Hey, John, I have to say the president came out.
He came out?
Let me rephrase that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that would be funny, wouldn't it?
No, it wouldn't surprise anybody.
His weekly address. Let me play you a 15-second clip.
On Monday, I'll lay out my plan for how we'll do that, how we'll pay for this plan and pay down our debt by following some basic principles, making sure we live within our means.
That's, John, It's the American dream. Live within your means. We got to make sure we live within our means and
asking everyone to pay their fair share.
Pay your fair share. Fair share.
But right now...
What?
There was nothing. Go on, finish this and I'll tell you.
We've got to get Congress to pass this jobs bill.
Pass this jobs bill. All right. So guess what I did over the weekend?
You paid your fair share.
No. That I will do when Mimi gives me all the details of what fair share I have to pay. We have to coordinate that this year. No, I read the American Jobs Act, so you don't have to. And you were right. It's 199 pages, this American Jobs Act, and I've taken the liberty of highlighting a couple of pieces of it. And
there's a lot of gems in there.
Have you read it?
No.
Okay. So don't worry. I read it, so you don't have to.
I'm glad.
And let me say this right off the bat. I agree with the president. I think we should pass this bill as quickly as possible. It is absolutely essential that we pass this bill because it will be a bonanza. It will be so awesome, and it will accelerate the demise that much quicker. So the if we can pass this whole thing, awesome. Let me tell you what's in here for jobs. First of all, there's $1 billion in here for air traffic control advancements. And if you read down a little bit further, you'll see there's $27 billion, which a large portion is going to be appropriated towards the next gen air traffic control system. Now, we've discussed this next generation air traffic control system advancement, as he calls it here. And that is so that we can have the drones flying around without crashing into other aircraft.
Right, that we keep
forgetting.
Keep forgetting that.
So let's mark that one off. I'm happy with that. We need the drones. So let's get our drones in. Then we have capital assistance for high-speed rail corridors, which starts off with $4 billion here for the first year. Very good. I think we need that. That's been proven. Just look at China.
And that's, by the way, that is to benefit Warren Buffett, who's on board with all this stuff.
On board. So that's $4 billion that, just look at China. It's really great, working well. So I'm all for that.
Yeah, between crashes, between deaths.
And slowdowns.
Slowdowns and stoppages.
It's the mid-speed rail in China now. Then, of course, we have to put another $2 billion into the National Railroad Passenger Corporation. That's so that Joe Biden can get from Pennsylvania to Washington quicker. So I'm happy with that. That's very good. We'll put that one in. And then we have a new name, AIFA. And I hadn't heard this term before. It stands for the American Infrastructure Financing Authority, which is the iBank. The investment bank, remember the infrastructure bank that he was talking about? Everyone was saying we need an infrastructure bank. This is it, and some very interesting things. So the way the infrastructure bank works is there's a whole bunch of projects that you can bid on, and you will get a loan in all cases a minimum of 50%, which will cost no less than the yield on a treasury bond. So interest is like nothing, which is great. And I'll read you a couple of highlights. So the any investment that the infrastructure bank makes must have a investment grade rating. Now, you do a show with Andrew Horowitz. You know about this stuff. What is an investment grade rating? We know that America had a AAA and was recently downgraded to AA. By Standards & Poor's. What is investment grade? What level?
Actually, it's kind of a meaningless term because it depends. This is for big funds and union funds and these giant agglomerations of retirement funds that people put together, and they'll have a minimum standard. They will not invest into
right.
bonds or some securities. They don't have like double. Typically, it's AA plus.
Oh no. The Obama standard for something that our taxpayer money will go into is BBB minus.
Oh,
that is investment grade according to the Obama administration. BBB minus.
Huh.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
I wonder why that would be that because there's so many good investments above that rating that it's baffling why you'd have that.
Well, that's just
even on the list.
That's so any shithead can come in and do anything they want with a flaky project.
That's what it sounds like.
Now, here's how it works. So you get your money. And
by the way, I'll bring that up with Horowitz on the next show.
Please do. It's and I've highlighted the PDF so you can download it from 340.nashownotes.com in the assets section. You'll find it there. It'll say American Jobs Act, PDF. So here's how it works. You get money from the government, at least 50%. In some cases, they will finance everything. We'll get to that later. You have 35 years to pay it back. 35 years. I'll just repeat that. 35 years. And by the way, if you don't use all the money, you can use what's left over to start paying it down. So you can basically stretch this out 40 years if you want, maybe even longer. But then the federal credit instrument shall be repayable in whole or in part from tolls, user fees, or other dedicated revenue sources that also secure the infrastructure project obligations. So in other words, we're going to lend these people who have BBB minus investment opportunities. We're going to pay our money is going to them. They may or may not have to put up the other half of the money. But of course, if the government's financing, you can get the bank to finance the other part. So you don't have to actually have anything. And then when it's built, you're going to be paying for it with tolls and user fees. How great is that?
A form of taxation.
Do you think? So here it is, maturity date, 35 years after date of substantial completion of the infrastructure project. So not even 35 years after the money. It's like after it's completed and it's really signed off and the ribbon has been cut, that's when you have to start paying it back. And then
so you're telling me that if you do pull a China scam where you just start the project but you never quite finish it, you could just stretch it out forever?
Yeah.
We've got one more brick to lay.
Yeah. It's like that Twitch studio. It'll never be finished. So you don't have to pay anything back. So that's pretty good. Then we have another section 261, Project Rebuild. Now this one I found very interesting. Where $15 billion will be made available per year of this, and it's like a 5-year act. To purchase homes that have been foreclosed. So, purchase and rehabilitate properties that have been abandoned or foreclosed upon in order to sell, rent, or redevelop such properties. And this is a 100% coverage. So you don't have to put up any money. The government will basically give anyone who asks for it, and you have at least a BBB minus credibility, they'll give you the money to buy a home and then rent it out.
What?
Yeah. So you get this money to, I'll read it verbatim, purchase and rehabilitate properties that have been abandoned or foreclosed upon in order to sell, rent, or redevelop such properties. So I guess I can just say, look, here's a whole neighborhood that's closed down. Everyone's either abandoned it or has been foreclosed on. I can get a loan from the government to go and buy all of that and then rent it out at almost any rate. I'll make money because I don't have to start paying anything back until the project's complete.